You're listening to the Monday Night Community Show with Daniel on BRFM.
We're now joined with Kathy Caton. She's from the BBC Digital Help Scheme. Kathy, it's good to see you back here at BRFM.
Thanks so much for having me back.
So, Kathy, why are we switching to digital TV?
The digital TV switchover is all about making things more fair, because until switchover came along, there was a real disparity, actually, according to where you lived. So even within the same town, sometimes, depending on where you lived, some people could get the full range of Freeview digital channels, and some people could only get, channels 1 to 5.
Yep.
So what happens with switchover when the signals get boosted to the full power is that makes it more accessible to everybody. So by the end of the switchover programme, pretty much every household in the UK will be able to get digital TV. So it's about making it fairer.
So, Kathy, when will it happen?
The switch, depending on where you live, switchover for most of your listeners is going to be starting on the 13th of June. So if you get your signal from Bluebell Hill or Dover, and if you can see your aerial on your roof, you can have a quick squint at it, and that will give you an indication of where you're getting your signal from. What happens at switchover is that on the first switchover date, so that's the 13th of June, so ring it in your diary, BBC Two gets turned off analogue forever, and the power goes up for the first time on digital. So from the 13th of June, for 2 weeks, they'll still be analogue and digital together.
Right.
If you haven't taken any action to get your TVs converted, that's your warning shot across the bows. You need to take some action to make sure that your TVs are ready for digital and can receive a digital signal, because 2 weeks later, after that 13th of June date, analogue TV disappears forever. The power on digital goes up full, so everyone will need to retune their equipment in order to pick up the new digital channels in their final places in the spectrum.
So what benefits will the switchover bring?
There are several key benefits to switchover. As I was mentioning before, fairness, so access for everybody to the public service channels on digital.
Yep.
And it will also help resolve an awful lot of the reception problems that people have had when there's been these kind of two signals in the same bit of airspace together.
Right.
Means that digital hasn't been at full power, and it's been quite liable to fall over. If the weather conditions, if atmospheric pressure is high, that's affected signals according to where people live. If there's anything that interferes with their line of sight, there have been problems with reception there. But when the signal goes up to full strength, and in some cases it's going up to 10 times stronger,
so quite a lot then.
Yeah, and that should really help resolve those problems. There are other benefits to it as well. There's something called audio description, which is available at one click, and for somebody who perhaps can't see the screen very well or at all, audio description tells you what's happening on the screen.
Actually, it's really good. I come across it by mistake. I must have knocked a button on our television. Suddenly we're getting all this audio description. I didn't even realise it existed. We knocked it and we had to go into the instruction book and find out how you took it back out. But it's a really sort of clever service, actually, when you hear it. And
it can really, because quite often people say things like, but why would blind people want to have the TV on anyway? And actually it really adds loads to it, because you can imagine exactly what's happening in EastEnders or Coronation Street or whatever, because someone's telling you what's going on.
It sounded to me a bit like you can get these story tapes where people have put the stories onto tapes. It almost, the television sounded like that more.
Absolutely. And other benefits include being able to listen to the radio, actually digital radio, through your TV. And perhaps for someone whose hearing isn't brilliant, because of the quality of speakers and stuff in your television is so good, it means that actually listening to the radio through your telly can actually be a really good experience, because the quality of speakers is so good.
We are at the moment talking to Kathy Caton. We're talking all about the digital switchover, and she's from the BBC Digital Help Scheme. We are joined here at BRFM with Kathy Caton. We're talking all about the digital switchover, and she's from the BBC Digital Help Scheme. What happens if I don't switch?
The worst case scenario, if you don't switch, if you don't get yourself set for digital, is that you'll be left with a blank screen. And my job is to make sure that no one has a blank screen come switchover. To get ready for switchover, what you need to do is have either a flat screen integrated television, so that means a TV where it's got the Freeview box effectively built into it, or have an external digibox like a Freeview box that you just plug into your TV and off you go. People don't need to worry about rushing out and spending loads of money on new TVs if you don't want to. We can convert pretty much any television for digital just using a Freeview box. They're £15 or £20 from your local supermarket or high street retailer. Then they've come down vastly in price. They're really simple to install. Just a question of putting the SCART lead from the box into the back of your telly and off you go. And if you've got a TV that predates SCART leads, and a SCART socket is one of those kind of rectangles filled with lots of pins, have a look at the back of your TV. If that's not there, you should still be able to convert your television. You just need to go to high street retailer, ask for an RF modulator to go with your Freeview box, and off you go. So it's important that everyone takes action to convert their televisions and get them ready. And don't forget that what we're finding from talking to people around the country is that mainly most people are set in their in their living rooms. They've already got digital TV and they're comfortable with that. But don't forget, any TV, so in bedrooms, in kitchens, any TV that is getting 5 channels or less, you need to take some action to convert it for digital. And it's really straightforward, so don't think you have to throw those TVs out, but do remember that you need to take some action to get them sorted.
So, Kathy, you're from the help scheme, and often I've seen it at the bottom of adverts, and I think recently probably our listeners has got a leaflet through their door that mentions it. But what does it actually do? What is it all about?
The Switchover Help Scheme exists to make sure that those who are most at risk of being left behind by switchover, so it's older and disabled people, can receive all the help and support they need to make the switch to digital. We provide all the practical help that you need to convert one of your TVs to digital. And like I was just saying, it doesn't have to be your main one. So if you've got a set in the bedroom or in the kitchen that's just as important in terms of viewing, we can help you convert that. So the help scheme provides an installer, a qualified installer, to come and fit the kit, to check your aerial strength, and we'll do an upgrade on the aerial if that's required. That's covered by the help scheme.
Right.
A specially designed box that's been carefully worked on to for ease of use. So it has one button retuning. There's a home button, so if you get lost in a menu, quite often people who are using help scheme kit have never used an on-screen menu before. Yeah. Press that home button wherever you are, it'll always take you back to BBC One. Other good features include that the installer will pair up the remote to control your TV, so you only have to deal with one remote control to turn your television on and off and to operate the box. The other thing that the help scheme provides is a year's worth of aftercare. That's included in the help scheme. That means that if you have any problems with the kit at all, whether it's changing channel, it's not doing what you want, you can't remember how to turn it off or indeed on, just give us a call. There's a free phone number that's left on top of the box itself. Just give us a call on that. Our specially trained advisors, our UK call centre, will talk you through all the steps you need to do. But if that doesn't work, or if you're not comfortable with it, an installer can come back out again and we'll spend the time with you making sure that you're comfortable with the kit, that it's all working properly, and that lasts for 12 months after the kit's installed. And I think that that's actually one of the really key benefits of the help scheme, because although for most people it is going to cost £40 to get the help from the help scheme, that year's worth of aftercare actually is invaluable, because if an installer needs to come back out, there's no limit to how many times they can come back out to you to make sure that you're set and ready to go.
So who's going to be eligible?
To qualify for help from the help scheme, you can qualify under several different eligibility criteria. Broadly speaking though, if you're aged 75 or over, or if you receive certain disability benefits such as disability living allowance or mobility supplement, or if you're registered blind or partially sighted, have to emphasise registered, it's important that you're on the register to be eligible for help, or if you've lived in a care home for 6 months or more. If one of those, any one of those applies to you, then you're eligible for help from the help scheme. We'll actually already have written to you to offer you the help, and it's at this point that people go, oh, I think I did see something from the BBC and I think it went straight into the recycling bin.
Yeah.
If you have thrown away your letter, it doesn't matter, you can still qualify for help. Just give us a call and we'll take it from there.
We are at the moment talking to Kathy Caton, and we're talking all about the digital switchover right here at BRFM. We are talking to Kathy Caton at the moment. She's from the BBC Digital Help Scheme, and we're talking all about the digital switchover. Kathy, we were just talking about the help scheme and people who are eligible, but how much does it cost?
For most people who are eligible for help from the help scheme, there is a cost. There's the standard offer is £40, and for that £40 that includes full installation of the kit, an aerial upgrade if one's required, a specially designed kit that's easy to use, and the year's worth of aftercare. So that is the offer for £40. However, if you're eligible for help from the help scheme, so if you're over 75 or in receipt of certain disability benefits, for example, if you're eligible for help, but if you also receive certain income related benefits such as pension credit, then or income support, then actually you qualify for help for free. And we know when we send our letters out who qualifies for free help and who needs to pay. So you don't have to wade through pages and pages of forms trying to work out which you are. You can just give us a call or return the form in your pack and we'll take it all from there.
How can people take advantage of the scheme then?
So everybody who is eligible for help from the help scheme will already have written to, and if you haven't responded to that letter, I'll have written to you again, and indeed a third time, but we don't write to people any more than 3 times. So if we've written to you and you've thrown the letters away, it's not too late, and it isn't too late to get help from the help scheme. In fact, the help scheme is open for applications until the end of July, so actually well after the switchover date. But I'd encourage people to take action now, because I don't want, when it comes to the 13th of June, don't want anyone to be struggling with it. And actually you've got plenty of time if you do it now, that we can come and do the installation and get sorted. If you don't want to fiddle around with forms, or if you just want to check whether or not you're eligible, if you've heard this and thought, oh, I think that could be me, but I'm not sure I've been written to, just give us a call. The number is 0800, so it's free phone, 0800 40 87 656, so 0800 40 87 656.
So what about people who are eligible but actually don't need any help? I suppose perhaps they've already sorted themselves out.
Actually, an awful lot of people have already made the switch to digital. Digital TV's been around for quite a long time now, and actually lots of people have already converted their stuff. If we've written to you to offer you the help and you don't want to be bombarded with any more letters, just return the slip that's in the letter saying that you're all set for digital and everything's fine. One thing I would say though is, don't forget that the help scheme can help you convert a second set, so it doesn't have to be your main set. It might be an alternative one, say in the kitchen or in the bedroom. And so just remember that those TV sets do need dealing with to get them ready for digital, and actually with the help scheme we can help you do that.
Now, Kathy, before you go, I was just wondering if you could refresh our listeners of any useful contact details.
Absolutely. You can, if you're on the internet, you can find out everything you need to know about the help scheme by going to helpscheme, all as one word, .co.uk. Give us a call if you think you're eligible for help, if you'd like to opt in for help for the help scheme, or if you've got any questions at all, you can just give us a call on 0800 40 87 656, 0800 40 87 656. And also, if you've got any general questions about digital switchover, perhaps if you're not eligible for help scheme but want some information on retuning, what you need to do to get set for digital, you can talk to my colleagues at Digital UK on 08456 50 50 50. And actually they're really helpful, especially with stuff like retuning. If you've got a problem retuning your telly, which you'll need to do on the 2 switchover dates. If you've got the phone in one hand and the remote control in the other, give them a call and they can talk you through step by step how to retune your televisions.
Kathy, thank you very much for coming along and updating our listeners and telling them all about the switchover.
Thank you so much for having me. It's always a joy to be here. Thank you.
And I know I'm going to be speaking to you again nearer the switchover with some more advice as well.
I know, can't keep me away.